Our products are basically entirely on commodity hardware, and the company products provide a complete software-defined mobile network for both GSM and LTE. Okay. Our clients are, as I said before, are mobile operators MNO, MVNO, MVNA that sell business to clients. And regarding our equipment, we'll talk about the test equipment as you sign with us to sell all the test equipment. We have solutions for both RAN and core, and the solutions for RAN are the LTE or the GSM lab kit, and for core are the HSS, UCN, SMSC, STP, and DAA, all installed in one box. We call it mini core. Also, if you didn't heard about STP or DRA, these are the SSF router, or the STP is the 6-RAN router, and DRA or DEA is the diameter router, mostly used to route messages to our internal equipment and also to connect the MVNO equipment in interconnect or roaming agreement cases. Clients that use our equipment for testing are the final users, and usually they don't commercialize it further. So they use it in their labs or for different purposes. For example, to see unencrypted GSM or LTE communication between mobile station or user equipment and BTS or InnoDB. Some categories of our clients are universities that teach and research radio concepts or radio architecture and SS7 protocols. There are production manufacturer of IoT equipment that are used for product line testing. We have such clients. We have some of our clients that make security testing for operators and IoT, and also the test equipments are also used to test the integrations, the SIM authentications, the internet, the interconnect and the roaming agreement, as I said earlier.
Some of you asked some marketing advices, and we work in more modes. For instance, we have meetings with existing customers at other operators at the big congresses, such as the MVNO Congress and the Mobile World Congress. We also schedule meetings and try to approach future customers because it's easier to get new leads face to face. So we attend a lot of congresses and fairs about mobile infrastructure. For us, the best way to do marketing is to have email campaigns. We work a lot on that. We have a narrow target. We know our business and also who are our clients. So we target everything very narrow. Useful tool for us is LinkedIn. We use a lot LinkedIn. So it's very important to know how we address to the new clients. We build landing pages that we use as call to actions, video materials. We have a YouTube channel with a lot of content. I will give you the link. And also more materials such as LabKit and Mini Core unboxing, IoT device testing with our LabKit, which is a webinar that it will be very useful to watch it, because you have a lot of examples and very, very practical examples. Also, we do a lot of follow-ups to the potential clients. When we do a new email campaign, we schedule between 3 and 5 emails, let's say between 1 and 2 months. This is what works for us. So follow-ups, congresses, and even testimonials, recommendations. We have clients that can handle, if we have clients that can handle the request, or you are not sure what the client wants, you can anytime email us, and we will give you all the technical answers for your clients and even business answers if you need a new approach.
Also, some of you asked if what are the advantages of LabKit, Minicore, and VolteLab in comparison with competitor test equipment. So these equipments we sell, we are not considering test equipments. They are real equipments, but with smaller resources. They are limited in hardware. The management interface is the same, and the resources and the protocols are the same, and everything is the same. Regarding the VolteLab, we are the first in the market, or the one for the first in the market that manufacture and sell a VolteLab for production and test. And this is from the Wikipedia snippet, and also I think you saw the screen because it's shared. I'll paste the link also. Okay. Regarding the LabKit is a small GSM or LTE base station that can be connected to any core network or to our hosted core for the core network part. And I will show you the management interface. This is the management interface. For example, the currently LabKit is running in BTS mode and has 3 BTS modes. This one is GSM network in a PC that has everything in a PC that won't connect any core network. So all the subscribers are stored here in the LabKit. The second one is GSM roaming, and the BTS will connect to A2CM or hosted core via SIP and provide voice and SMS messages. And also the third mode, that is GSM data roam, that is the second mode plus data. The fourth mode is LTE Node B, and the modes can be enabled or changed from here. So now I have updated the working mode from GSM data roam to LTE Node B, and now BTS transform in Node B, and these are the configuration of the Node B. So I have the core network. This is where the local IP address of the LabKit. It's a VPN tunnel to the MME, and the MME should be, I don't know, 100. 125.1. This would be 2. Okay. I'll put 3 streams, and if I click submit, I'm glad it's not working. Okay. So after I configure the core in the MME part, should be the Node B should connect to the MME and can be seen from the core network in the A2CN equipment.
The mini core is a complete core network at a smaller scale. The software is the same as in our full production products. The entire core network is in this small unit. This supports about 500 users connected at the same time. We have few clients where we sell the mini core for a private network project, where the customer uses full production base stations for the radio part and mini core for the core network. So they have a real mobile network working in remote areas. Let's say a client has a petrol station in the middle of the sea. So they bought a base station and the mini core, and they have a full working cellular network. Also, MVNOs, we have clients that are MVNOs at the start of the business, and they buy the full production core network. Before they buy the full production network, they buy the mini core for integration with the operator to see that everything works properly. The mini core combined with the LabKit enables a full real cellular network in the customer's lab. A big advantage for our clients is that if they buy the LabKit and the mini core, they can operate the network privately. This means without connecting the mini core to the internet. In this particular case, the device, it doesn't matter what the device is, it's a mobile phone, it's an IoT device, modem, they won't have data. The VoLTE Lab combines the lab kit and the mini core, but the main difference in this product is that the core network has a special feature added. It's about the IMS feature that enables to perform VoLTE. We ship the product with iPhone 6s that have been configured and tested before for the VoLTE features. So the main advantages regarding these three solutions for our clients are the price. The price are smaller than our competitors. That's not a simulation. They are real equipment. They are real equipment that run in the same software as in our full production products, according to the telecom standards SS7 in diameter. The fact that we offer free support for 6 months for the clients. We have public documentation on our website that can be read by anyone, and we can add some custom features for that many clients ask. We can add and for some specific needs.
Okay. Also, some of you asked what are the main differences between the testing environment products, the MiniCore, the VoLTE Lab, and the LTE Lab Kit. So the Lab Kit, as I told you before, does the radio part. This means the communication between the phones and the radio tower. It receives and sends radio signal, GSM or LTE, and converts it to data and sends it to the core network, mainly to the UCN or where the MME part is there. So I'll show you the UCN. And this is the MME section. We put it MME as GCN. And this is the S1AP listener for the MME. Here is the control. And the S1 GTP interface, this is the data, is the GTPC. So in the LTE network, GTPC is replaced by S1AP, and GTPU, the user data, is the same. Okay. This Lab Kit, as I told before, has these 4 working modes and can act on as one mode at a time. So if this mode is enabled, can be both LTE and LTE and also GSM data roam. If you want to have 2G network and 4G network, you need 2 radio equipments to do that, because one equipment has only one radio board, and you use the one Blade RF boards, as you, I suppose, already know that. Okay. Regarding the MiniCore, you can customize it as you want. We change the logo, and we also have a management where you can manage packages, and you can see the installed packages, and this you can upgrade any packages. So I will upgrade the MME right now. I'll put this one too. This is the MME VoLTE Lab. So we are on revision 3097, and I will just install an update. Okay, UCN was reloaded, and now the revision is changed. It's 3122, and the database revision is +1, 478. The MiniCore, as I told before, is not considered as a test equipment because you can put it in production but won't support more than, I don't know, 500 or 1,000 users. That depends on each resources each user consume and how many users are simultaneously connected. So we didn't test for such many users on the Minicore. We had some programs that could test the the resources of the computer, but mainly less than 1,000 subscribers simultaneously, let's say that. Okay. I'll tell you about each equipment a bit. So this is the ADRA equipment, as I told you, is the diameter and radius router. So we have diameter settings, and we have the identity and the domain. This is set up as a test network with MCC001 and MNIC001. And okay, we have advanced settings. These are the settings for the HTTP protocol, as this one being the HTTP listener. We have the routing table over here, and if you can have multiple identities on this equipment. So you can have for each identity you have a certain routing table. On extra parameters and routing and scripts, there are nothing because there are nothing custom configured yet on it, and it works as you see it. The other router is the E8HTTP router, and I already did. We see that we don't have diameter settings, we only have SSL settings. So SIGTRAN, and we have a point code and the IP as it resides on the Minicore is the loopback interface. We don't have extra parameters, and everything, all the settings from the HTTP are also in each equipment on the SSL settings. So these are the global settings for all the equipments or for this equipment. If you have more than one HTTP in your network, you cannot two or three or whatever you want. Usually for the interconnect, you need two DRAs and two HTTP, or at least two listeners on each DRA and HTTP. So one program can act as two with different listeners. We also have here in my network a section named SSL settings, and this part over here, the regex routing rules, are sent to all HTTP equipment or E8 HTTP equipment. So for example, here we add stuff like good group routing rules. For example, if you want in your network to have 3 SMSC equipment and use load balancing, we set up a good group for one SMSC, and STP will receive the SMS or the request on that GT, and will divide it, or I don't know. Send it to one of those 3 equipments that you have. Okay. The 8HSS is the subscriber database, and he's connected to both HTTP and DRA, and these are his settings. And we have here local IP, we have local port and remote port for this HTTP connection. We have the connection to the diameter, and the diameter setting. This is his identity. As you see, we have the domain, and the identity is HSS connecting to the array. Okay, I don't think there are routing or scripts extra added, as this works by default, but if you need it, you can add them. Okay. This SMSC is the SMS center, and as you see, it's only bounded to SSL1 router, so the diameter, and we have a point code, the global title set up, and this is the SMSC center number. So the GT of the SMSC is the phone number where all the messages will go. No extra parameters, and for root, I added the rule echo SMS, and if you send an SMS to 767 and you receive back an echo SMS path. Okay? This is for testing the RAN network. I will show you another thing on the UCN also, some routing rules. No scripts, and these are some advanced settings, let's say that. You can set up the country code here or skip the country code, authorize more SMS, and I don't know, map version, what to use, how much time the SMS will expire, when the SMS will expire. And if I click on each of this question mark, I'll have the documentation pop up in the right side. Okay, let's go to the UCN equipment. So the UCN is also bound to SSF1, so the STP router and diameter settings. This is the name, and we have the features, and the features are, I don't know, functionalities for each MME functionalities, HGCN functionality, CS, CFE support, VLR, JMSC, GGCN or PGV. So we'll take them one at a time. So we'll go to the SSL settings. They are almost the same as the other SSL settings for other equipments, only the ports differ. And the point code, yes, in GT. We have the E8UCN identity in the DRA. This is it, the E8UCN in DRA. So for extra parameters, we have these extra parameters. For the MME, the part where the NODB connects here, so the lab kit working in NODB mode. Okay. So we have the local area code, the PLA-MNI when combined attach is used. This is the identity that MME treats. So it's 00101. If you want to add here, you can add your MCC, MNC, let's say 55. I suppose this one or AT&T 2409, let's say that. And you can broadcast this on your NODB also, and the phone will show it. This name doesn't really matter, it's here. Just for internal use. We have 3 streams, as I set up here, 3 streams also, core network, MME, 3, let's change it to 3. Finishing apply configuration, 3, okay. And S1AP HTTP, as I told you before, it's on this local IP address, and this is the control, the GTPC, and this is the user data, so the GTPU. We also have S5 interface. You can set up it from here. Is the internal interface between HGV and CGV and PGV. Sorry. The VLR. Okay, you can redirect all your calls to a gateway call, and this is where you set up the gateway call, and this is the example over here. So for the moment it's set up to null, so the calls will be handled by the VLR functionalities in the UCN. You can set up to a connection name, and connection name will be set up from here from the accounts, and I'll show you. Always GMSC means that all the calls should be sent to the gateway MCC. So this is unchecked for the moment. Here we set up the roaming numbers. We also have the SIP listener for run. So to show you this, I'll change the working mode of the lab kit in the GSM data room as it was before. And I will wait a bit because now it's the NODB and now it's refreshing. So we have, okay, let's say register SIP. So what we have here, this one, paste. I won't put the default port for SIP because it's 5060. It will auto completely, and I set up my SIP as same IP in the same network as this one. Okay. I'll put also in roaming. I'll say here the IP is 10.0.1.4.1. So this should be enough, and now the BTS will connect to the mini core. SMS mode, wait at that. Okay, let's fix that. Okay. We also have the PC CFI, and this one is the SIP server for the IMS. And here you can set up the IMS sector algorithms. You can see you can set up them to null, and the IMS communication will be unencrypted. And this is the part the most of the Volterlab clients ask for it, so they can see unencrypted communications between the UE and the core. We have this is the listeners, and we have them in both TCP and UDP. We'll take a look at them. This one is the secure port for SIP, and this one is used for the IMS, also secure. On advanced, there is nothing less. Let's go to routing. We have radio access network tests. They have test scripts used for an engineer. If you call 644, we'll play a sound. If this is not set up here, it's set up in the SMSC, but I put it here and commented it out to know that it's here, that this functionality is enabled. Also, if you call 3246, we'll look back the audio data. It's echo. As you see, it's a best script that will echo message. And if you call the conference, you'll enter in the conference also. Okay. There are not custom scripts added, and here is the account part, and you have SIP listeners and SIP connections. You can set up here a SIP connection, let's say, to my SIP gateway, type EDP, register IP, I don't know. Okay, register port. You can set up this one if you have authentication username password. You can set up the local IP if you want the registration or the message to be sent to this register IP from a local IP. So I set up this one, and if I go back to the VLR, I can put here the connection name, and the UCN will know to search for this one and use the properties of this thing. The last part is the GGCN or PGV, and we have the S8 interface. It's also been done locally. This will be used when roaming between partners. And here we have the tunnel set up, and we will look on one tunnel, the public data network, where the private address of subscribers are. So each subscriber will have IP address from 2 to 254, and the APN associated for this one is internet. Okay, I'll drop the changes because I don't want to have the gateway foot. So this is it for the moment. If you have any questions, please type them here or send us by mail, or I'm waiting for the support.
Okay, another question from you was when there will be the possibility to resell fully at the portfolio, not only devices for lab. We thought about this, and we can discuss if you already have some clients for the products, or even run our core, the full production products. You can tell us, and someone from our company, from the sales department, will talk with you and your client in the same time, in the same emails. And before the deal is closed, we'll talk about the sale percentage. But for further details, for you to be able to handle the full production products, we can discuss this at the contract extension, because before we'll have the reseller partners to sell the full production products, we have to see if our partnership was benefic for both sides and how much income it brought. So we can work with you if you have some clients, some operators, MNOs and MVNOs. We can do something so both of us will win. You will have a percentage from the sale. Regarding the 5G questions we received, yes, we will implement 5G, but at this point, this is not possible because there are not on the market so many devices that connect to 5G. And also because they postponed the release 15 and 16. And I will give you the link to read about this. They postponed the standard. And in our company, at the moment, 5G is paused, because some countries already banned the technology, and we added some 5G functions in the core network when we will go to fully implement it. This is a BBC article where you will read about the countries where the 5G is blocked, is banned.
Okay. Another question was for the IoT, what to offer to the IoT company. So companies that produce IoT devices, they usually buy LTE lab kits. We have such clients that bought, I don't know, 12 or 15 LTE lab kits, and each lab kit is connected to a radio wire to the IoT devices, and they test the functionality of the IoT device itself. So to not interfere the radio interference, to not lose anything, they just connect it directly with the radio wire. Okay. For this, we have also some webinars for the IoT. We will paste you the link and also send you the link via email. And in this webinar, you will see how an IoT device manufacturer and IoT that works in research and development, how they will test their devices using our lab kit. There are a bunch of tests that they can do. Protocol tracing with Wireshark, roaming testing, when a device passes from one area to another, how it will behave, public service messaging, with multiple cases with multiple lab kits in one core network. IoT device emissions for electromagnetic compatibility, because some of the IoT devices are installed in places such as an aircraft where the radio emissions is very important. So they have to be sure that the IoT device emissions does not interfere with the aircraft, for example. These are examples for IoT production line testing. This is end-to-end testing, something like go, no go. As Paul told you, they connect the device with the lab kit and see if it's assembled as it should. If the functionalities are good. So they test their own IoT device to be sure that the response how should respond in the protocols and everything is there.
Yeah, they can do RF testing, uplink and downlink frequencies, and some of the clients test the IoT in RF chambers. It will be very helpful for you to understand the market better if you will watch this webinar and read the whole page, because in this webinar it's real things like what they want to test and how they do it. It is very practical. We also have some case studies. I will give you the link of the webinar. And we also have some case studies.
Okay. Regarding our clients, we also have universities as clients. We have here University Military Academy in Bucharest, and we have some universities, I don't know, also in Asia and Europe. And mostly university buy the lab kits, the radio equipment, or the water lab. They only need the lab kit to test how a phone attach on 2G or a 4G network, how SMS work, or how voice calls are passed to the core network. And if they bought VoltaLab, they can see everything there because the VoltaLab includes also the core network and the radio network, so everything it can be sniffed or seen by Wireshark or other decoders. Also, we have universities that bought 2 or 3 lab kits and use them for CSFB. We have this functionality if one phone is connected to the 4G network and one phone is connected to the 2G network. If the 4G network connected phone calls the 2G network connected phone, the mobile originator calls the 4G network disconnects from the 4G and connects to the 2G network, initialize or originates the call, and after that we will come back to the network. Okay. We also have companies that are security laboratories or asking for looking for security flaws or whatever. And we have some governmental clients that bought radio equipment and tested the SMS alerts and I don't know, radio, anything about radio interfering and all the security on the radio layers. Okay, we will give you some case studies, and for both the universities, the government, and the IoT companies.
In the first case study, it's about a big IoT device manufacturer that does precise testing in difficult conditions. For this client, we added some extra features on the lab kit to be able to perform such testing. So we can add something if the client needs.
Yeah. Regarding the extra feature, we can add extra feature to any of our products, or you can add extra feature on any of your products. That's why the scripts zone over here and the custom rules. Okay, the routing, the scripts, you can add certain scripts. For example, the SMAC usually is used with the SMPP. It receives the message to SSL1 and routes the message to SMPP gateway. So some of the clients also ask about that. Do you have SSL1 to SMPP gateway? Yes, the SMAC is a gateway. It can act as a SMPP gateway or SMPP client.
The second case study, it's about a big MNO that reduces his testing time from days to hours in their security lab, because they did some testing. If a user goes to a foreign network in roaming, it might be in danger of being attacked. And they had, before they bought our lab kits, they had full production base stations that were very hard to configure. The last case study is about MVNO that does the radio testing for the integration with its MNO. So these are real case studies about our existing clients. So you might find this pattern in the market, and it will be very helpful if you read them.
Okay. So this is it for the moment. We are finishing our presentation. Let's say that. If you have any questions for us, please type us in the Q&A section, so we can answer there, and also we'll forward the question and answers in each one emails, and also send the case study links to each of you in the emails. So waiting for new questions.
Regarding the rest of the questions you asked, you send me via email. We are preparing a file with all the answers.
Okay. So there are no other questions. If there are no other questions, I announce you that in 2 or 3 months we'll make a training session for 2 days. So if you are interested in training session, or other colleagues from your company are interested in training session, please talk with Adi or Lucian, and we will tell you the exact date. Thank you very much for attending to this conference call, let's say that, or this seminar, and we will talk on the support or whatever you want to. Thank you very much. Have a perfect day.
Thank you. So this is it. We didn't receive any other question. I will prepare you the file and all the documentation we show you to follow up with you via email. Thank you very much for attending, and have a nice day and a great weekend. Bye bye.